Year 1947, a remote ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. What landed in the desert would soon rewrite history. Major Jesse A. Marcel Sr. was the intelligence officer for the 509th Bomb Group at Roswell Army Airfield in 1947. This group was the only atomic bomb-capable unit in the world at the time, so his role was very significant. Major Marcel was assigned to collect debris from the site that was questionable. He spent several hours examining the materials before transporting them. These descriptions became a major part of the UFO community's understanding of Roswell. Decades later, in Montana, a retired physician would take up that legacy, determined to bring the truth to light. Dr. Richard O'Connor worked as an anesthesiologist at St. Peter's Hospital in Helena, Montana. While there, he met Jesse A. Marcel Jr., Major Jesse A. Marcel Sr.'s son, also a physician, and they became colleagues and friends for over 25 years.
So I am Richard O'Connor. I'm a retired physician. I worked here in Helena at St. Peter's Hospital as an anesthesiologist for almost 30 years. And I took an interest in UFOs because of my relationship with one of the surgeons that I worked with there, Dr. Jesse Marcel Jr., who was at Roswell as a young boy when the Roswell UFO crash occurred in 1947. So that got me interested in the subject after many conversations with him about what happened at Roswell. And so here I am today, standing with you in the Jesse A. Marcel Library, which was opened in May of 2012.
Over time, O'Connor came to believe that Marcel Jr.'s story was credible. He described Marcel as someone with integrity and never embellished, and only told what he saw. As Marcel Jr. aged, and it became obvious that his time here on Earth was near the end, O'Connor asked Marcel Jr. if he could keep the Marcel legacy alive by opening a library in their name. Marcel Jr. gave his blessing. O'Connor then kept his word and opened the Jesse A. Marcel Library in Clancy, Montana. The library serves as a safe space for people to meet up and exchange stories and experiences of UFOs without fear of social stigma or ridicule. The library is meant to change this because there are very few, if any, places that offer that kind of security for people to openly discuss the subject that has been so harshly filtered and altered to look as though it's not what it seems.
Before Dr. Marcel passed away, I spoke with him about opening this library in his name, which turns out is also his father's name, who was, in my opinion, the first whistleblower that ever came out to the public and brought UFOs to public attention back in 1978. And so I asked Dr. Marcel if it would be appropriate for me to open this, it's a humble, library in his name, to help carry on the story of what happened at Roswell, his involvement in it, and just because that's an important legacy for the public to continue to know about and investigate.
O'Connor didn't just preserve the past, he became an active investigator. Through the Jesse A. Marcel Library and his involvement in the New Paradigm Institute, serving as Montana's coordinator for their campaign, Citizens for Disclosure, where he writes, organizes, and calls for public engagement on several fronts. declassification of UFO-related government records, especially those tied to nuclear weapons incidents, open hearings alongside scientific and environmental discussions. He believes non-human intelligence is not a fringe curiosity, but a global phenomenon with profound implications for national security, energy, planetary future, and our understanding of life. He strongly believes that the secrecy around UFOs manifesting in classified programs, redacted documents, and counterintelligence-driven misinformation amounts to a disservice to humanity. O'Connor strongly feels as though these nuclear weapons are a serious threat to non-human intelligence and fears of the worst outcome due to past events that have taken place.
The statement is made that this is not just a problem that occurred back in the 60s, but this is an ongoing problem that is still happening today. So the question is, why has this non-human intelligence been disabling our nuclear weapons? And should we, as Montanans who live in a state that has 150 nuclear missiles, that's how many missiles our state hosts for the U.S. Department of Defense, should we be concerned about these incidents? What do they mean? What's the message behind that? Is it that this non-human intelligence doesn't approve of our nuclear weapons and they want them gone? Well, if that's the message, I endorse that message. I feel the same way. Probably you do too. I would imagine most Americans, if asked the question, how many nuclear weapons do you think we should have? The answer would be 0, because they're such a threat, not only to our human civilization, but to the entire biosphere of this planet. And so if that's the message behind these incidents, I think we need to be paying attention to it, talking about it, having public debate and discussion about it, and probably having a conversation between the American people and our Department of Defense and the Russians and the Chinese and the French and the Israelis and all of these countries that are nuclear armed, if maybe we should stop this.
A crashed craft, a young boy, a secret military cover-up. Years later, a doctor, a friend, a library. The question remains, what if the story of extraterrestrial contact isn't just one night, but a continuing human endeavor to understand, to document, and to disclose? The truth might still be out there, or maybe it's right here in a small building on Ponderosa Road in Clancy, Montana, waiting for those ready to look. The Jesse A. Marcel Library continues to function as a safe space for believers, experiences, skeptics, and anyone curious to discuss, research, and push for disclosure. Don't be surprised if today's insights linger. Dr. O'Connor has a talent for leaving people with something to think about.
So we have a meetup group. If they go to meetup.com/jam library, JAM library, they'll find our meetup group, and you can join our meetup group. We now have about close to 100 members. We started out with 53 members, and so we're growing pretty quickly. And it's free to join. There's no cost involved, but that way you'll get all the notifications that I send out as the state coordinator for New Paradigm Institutes. You can see their website here is newparadigminstitute.org. And this is an important organization that was just formed in the last year. And they're our best shot at getting this information out to the public in a responsible way. And not only that, but determining, the direction that we need to go with this. We're learning now that we're not alone here on this planet, There's an intelligence that's probably a higher intelligence, actually, that's interacting with this planet and with our people. There's probably a great deal that we could learn from them and benefit from if we approach them in the proper manner, which probably doesn't include nuclear weapons, or hostility, but instead just sort of a humble welcome. We want to interact, we want to learn from you. If we can get into kind of a mutually beneficial relationship with them, that would be good. And that's what New Paradigm Institute is all about, is trying to find that path forward so that what we learn about this and from their technologies will redound to the benefit of all of our human family, and not just to the weaponization of these technologies, which will ultimately end in a very sad story, I think. So join our meetup group and come to the Jesse Marcel Library.